If you're looking for the best DSLR cameras, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we have included options for every type of customers. So let's get started. At the 10th position of our list, we have Canon EOS Rebel T100 EOS 4000D. Canon has deliberately built the EOS Rebel T100 down to a price, and we think they might have taken the cost cutting a fraction too far. It's a decent camera, but only if we can get it for a lot less money than the Nikon D3500. The Canon is well suited to beginners with the same intelligent full auto shooting mode and feature guide as you will find in pricier Canon cameras. The quick menu is typically intuitive, and there are plenty of scene modes as well as more advanced shooting modes. There's also a creative auto mode to help you progress from basic zone to creative zone modes. The 18 megapixel image sensor is a very old design and a little lacking in megapixels compared with most current DSLRs, though, and there are more serious cutbacks in other areas. We wouldn't expect a touchscreen at this price, but the rear LCD is disappointingly small and low resolution. Ultimately, it's a very basic camera, but the best DSLR to get if you just want to dip your toe in the photographic water and spend as little cash as possible. Moving on to the next at number 9 with Pentax K50 16 megapixel DSLR camera. Although the Pentax K50 is hardly revolutionary, it offers overall competitive image quality, a fully weather-sealed body, and excellent build quality and controls. This entry-level DSLR is a good camera to give a newer photographer on a budget something easy to use while leaving room to grow. While the performance of this camera doesn't stand out as exceptional in its class, its weather-sealed body is unusual in this price range. The K50 uses a 16 megapixel Sony CMOS sensor, resulting in plenty of dynamic range and low noise. Especially if you like to shoot in RAW, there's a lot of performance to be extracted from this sensor. Autofocus is quick and accurate in good light, but slows down noticeably in low light conditions. Pentax has included their sensor-based shake reduction, which helps to keep images free of blur in a wide variety of conditions. Controls all feel very good in the hand, and the grip is also excellent. Despite not being the best choice for video capture and lacking features such as an articulated LCD, the Pentax K50 is one of the best DSLR cameras around. The number 8 position is held by Canon EOS Rebel T5i 18 megapixel CMOS digital SLR. At the top of Canon's consumer lineup sits the Canon EOS Rebel T5i, though not quite replacing the EOS Rebel T4i. The changes for this new model are fairly discreet, composing mostly of minor upgrades. These upgrades include a new kit lens with an improved autofocus motor, a new grip, premium body finish, and a new 360-degree rotation model dial. There has also been the addition of real-time preview of creative filters in live view as opposed to having to add post-shot. This makes it easier to visualize how pictures that may work best with processing will look before taking them. Otherwise, the Rebel T5i has the same 18 megapixel CMOS sensor, a 9-point cross-tab autofocus sensor, Digic 5 image processor, and an articulated touchscreen that works especially well for video controls. It also delivers a familiar 5 FPS shooting and ISO range from ISO 100 to 12800 as well as 1080 by 30p video recording and stereo sound. As cameras are increasingly being stuffed full of features, the Rebel T5i seems a bit lacking in that regard, but the excellent photo and video quality remains. Overall, the Canon EOS Rebel T5i is basically the same camera as the Rebel T4i. This is both a positive and negative since the T4i is a fantastic camera, but while Canon is sticking with what's familiar, the competition is moving forward. Next at number 7, we have Nikon D7200 DX format DSLR body. The Nikon D7200 doesn't introduce any revolutionary changes to its predecessor, the D7100, but the small updates help to keep it up to date as an excellent enthusiast DSLR on a budget. The camera is quick to turn on and offers very good overall performance. The D7200 retains the excellent 51-point autofocus of its predecessor, the durable weather-sealed body, and a 24-megapixel APS-C sensor similar to that of the D7100. Despite feeling almost the same in the hand as the D7100, the D7200 uses the Xpeed 4 processor and adds built-in Wi-Fi and NFC. Also added is support for 1080 by 60p video capture, although this feature is limited to 10 minutes of continuous capture. Burst rate is somewhat slow for its class at 6 frames per second, but overall, this camera is a reliable choice for an affordable enthusiast camera. Image quality is excellent even in low light conditions, as the camera demonstrates quite a wide ISO range. The D7200 offers a lot of controls and customization both front and rear, although the handling isn't quite as ergonomic as some of Nikon's other recent cameras. While the D7200 might not be worth it as an upgrade to the D7100, it is an excellent option for those who want the control of a DSLR, for those who want the control of a DSLR and top-notch picture quality while on a budget. The number 6 position is held by Nikon D5200 24.1 megapixel CMOS digital SLR camera. The D5200 is Nikon's follow-up of the D5100, which unofficially accomplished the unbelievable job of replacing the D90. Sitting right between the entry-level D3200 and the enthusiast prosumer D7100, the D5200 serves as Nikon's advanced beginner APS-C DSLR. The body itself has not been altered much, retaining the articulate LCD screen and solid yet lightweight feeling, although it can still sometimes seem a bit plastic to some. The major improvements can be seen in terms of overall performance, with this camera offering a much better shooting experience over the D5100. With 24 megapixel resolution from the newly developed Nikon DX format CMOS image sensor, Nikon's new Xpeed 3 processing, and a high-density 39-point autofocus system, the D5200 offers excellent photo and video quality. It has a reasonably well-rounded feature set, although noticeably missing are Wi-Fi and GPS-based geotagging. Also missing is an autofocus motor in the body, which limits lens selection somewhat. The Nikon D5200 doesn't necessarily stand out strongly from its competition in terms of specialized features or performance. However, it strikes a good balance as a general-purpose camera that has no significant flaws. The number 5 position is dominated by Canon EOS Rebel T5i 18-megapixel CMOS digital SLR. At the top of Canon's consumer lineup sits the Canon EOS Rebel T5i. Though not quite replacing the EOS Rebel T4i, the changes for this new model are fairly discreet. Composing mostly of minor upgrades, these upgrades include a new kit lens with an improved autofocus motor, a new grip, premium body finish, and a new 360-degree rotation model dial. There has also been the addition of real-time preview of creative filters in live view as opposed to having to add post-shot. This makes it easier to visualize how pictures that may work best with processing will look before taking them. Otherwise, the Rebel T5i has the same 18-megapixel CMOS sensor, a 9-point cross-type autofocus sensor, Digic 5 image processor, and an articulated touchscreen that works especially well for video controls. It also delivers a familiar 5 FPS shooting and ISO range from ISO 100 to 12800, as well as 1080 by 30p video recording and stereo sound. As cameras are increasingly being stuffed full of features, the Rebel T5i seems a bit lacking in that regard, but the excellent photo and video quality remains. Overall, the Canon EOS Rebel T5i is basically the same camera as the Rebel T4i. This is both a positive and negative, since the T4i is a fantastic camera, but while Canon is sticking with what's familiar, the competition is moving forward. Moving on to the next at number 4 with Canon EOS 5D Mark III digital SLR camera. The first ever official presidential portrait using a digital camera was taken by Pete Souza, photographing Barack Obama with the Canon EOS 5D Mark II on January 13, 2009. Trivia aside, this is a showcase of just how dated the EOS 5D Mark II has become. The 5D Mark II was a hugely impressive camera well past its initial debut, but newer camera designs have been introduced to the market since then. Canon's popular full-frame DSLR has finally received the update it deserves. Despite the continuation of the 5D naming, the EOS 5D Mark III is essentially a new camera. The 22.3 megapixel image sensor shares more in common with the APS-C unit found in the EOS 7D than it does with the previous full-frame 21.1 megapixel sensor. Though the external body styling may look familiar to casual observers, the 5D Mark III carries more rounded corners and minor adjustments to ergonomics. The screen now features the correct 3:2 aspect ratio for shooting stills, and some of the controls have been relocated for easier access. The viewfinder offers 100% frame coverage compared to 98% in the Mark II. Overall, the EOS 5D Mark III has been redesigned to be simpler to use without hampering access to major controls or frustrating advanced photographers. The EOS 5D Mark III faces a especially stiff challenge from Nikon's latest 36.3 megapixel D800, which threatens to siphon Canon's user base. The new image sensor and Digic 5 Plus processor allows the 5D Mark III to remain competitive and even hold an edge in some applications. The 5D Mark III is generally fast and responsive, displaying very little lag with most functions. The AF system has received a major overhaul with technology pulled directly from Canon's professional 1D line. When paired with a bright lens, the new 61-point AF system offers diagonal cross-type focus points which deliver better accuracy. As expected, high ISO performance is best in class with minimal noise in both JPEG and RAW output. While the D800 can deliver much larger prints due to its 36.3 megapixel output, the EOS 5D Mark III counters with burst shooting speeds of up to 6 FPS. Both cameras deliver superb image quality, with neither besting the other outright. The EOS 5D Mark II quickly became a favorite amongst filmmakers and videographers thanks to its outstanding video capabilities. The Mark III can attribute its major improvements in video mode to the same components that deliver superior still image quality. The new image sensor and Digic 5 Plus processor work wonders with video, eliminating various artifacts and producing smooth, clean HD movies at various selectable frame rates. The mono microphone setup is still no better than other DSLRs on the market, but the 5D Mark III supports outboard microphones for high quality sound. As far as video goes, the EOS 5D Mark III remains the benchmark. The number 3 position is held by Nikon D3300 DSLR camera. The Nikon D3300 exceeds the performance of its highly rated predecessor, the D3200, and many competitors in virtually every key category. Endowed with the same image processing circuitry as higher-priced Nikons, the D3300 produces noticeably brighter, clearer pictures than its predecessor. The Xpeed 4 imaging technology also hikes the D3300's maximum continuous shooting speed to 5 frames per second via faster data writes to storage. Another major factor in the D3300's selection as the best of the best is battery performance. Last year's D3200 achieved a very respectable 540 exposures per charge. With the D3300, Nikon's upped that to an almost unbelievable 700 images, a whopping increase of 160 shots. For 2014, Nikon changed the video format of its consumer DSLRs, including the DS3300, from 30p to 60p. Probably not a big deal in making a purchase decision, but something photographers with strong feelings for or against 60p should consider. Next at number 2, we have Nikon 24.2 megapixel CMOS DSLR camera. The Nikon D5300 is an excellent option for an all-around, general-purpose DSLR. Considering the winning formula that made its predecessor, the D5000, so good, the D5300 delivers excellent photo quality, good features, and fast performance for a relatively affordable price. If you're planning on using Nikon lenses, this is a great choice for learning on. The D5300 retains the 24 megapixel sensor and relatively unimpressive 5 frames per second continuous shooting. However, This camera is excellent as long as you're not habitually shooting fast action. Small changes have been made to the design when compared to the D5200. The camera is smaller and lighter and with a better grip that makes it more comfortable to use over long periods of time. The low light autofocus is also improved over that of the D5200, while the Speed 4 processor allows for faster processing of burst shooting and full 1080 by 60p video capture. The D5200 was an excellent DSLR for shooting video, and the D5300 is the same in this respect. However, the lack of both a mic and a headphone jack may make more serious videographers want to look elsewhere. Despite not being a revolutionary change from the previous model, the Nikon D5300 is an excellent camera and should be a top pick for anyone seeking a camera in this class. Finally, the number 1 position is dominated by Canon EOS 70D 20.2MP digital SLR camera. Canon has an APS-C DSLR to fit every budget. Though the overlap between each model makes it difficult to decide which one fits which niche, the EOS 70D is technically positioned above the outstanding EOS Rebel T5i and directly below the prosumer EOS 7D. It shares many of the same features but ultimately outperforms both in the real world. At first glance, the EOS 70D is difficult to distinguish from the EOS 60D, which it replaces. Examine the two side by side, however, and some subtle differences may make themselves known. Other than the practical improvements such as a dial lock switch and a redesigned mode selector, the 70D is equipped with the same articulated touchscreen found on the Rebel T5i. The interface is identical, providing an easy graphical alternative to the array of buttons for controlling focus modes, ISO sensitivity, and more. Performance-wise, the 70D is quick and responsive at all times. Despite the resolution increase, burst shooting speed is now a solid 7 frames per second. The 70D also receives the autofocus sensor from 7D. Combined with the new technology found in the image sensor, autofocus performance is one of the 70D's strong points. Output quality with stills and video is excellent all around, and there are no surprises to be found anywhere. The built-in Wi-Fi feature may come across as a gimmick, but actually offers useful functionality ranging from wireless image transfer between devices, wireless printing, DLNA image streaming, and the ability to control the camera remotely. Overall, the EOS 70D is a solid DSLR for the money even when compared to its direct competitors within and outside of the Canon brand. Compared to Canon's other APS-C DSLR models, the newest architecture and features mean we'll give our top recommendations to the EOS 70D. That's all for today. We upload product review videos every single day. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification.